In this video, I'll be looking into one of the toolkit created by community, Power Toolkit. Now, Power Toolkit is a client-side dev companion tool for basically operating on Power Platform components like specifically Power Apps, Power Automate, and Dataverse. Now, it contains integrated suite of real-time utilities, basically which will help you aid in the development process. So if you are a person who is building any apps or solution within Power Platform, this is a useful tool. Now, this is a combination of all the tools or some of the tools which already existed before, but then it is like it will give you a complete smorgasbord of utilities which you can use for troubleshooting, for development, for configuration within the Power Platform solutions. Now, this tool is designed by Mohammed. Browser extension exist for this tool for Edge, Chrome, Firefox. So how do you invoke this tool is by using the browser extension. So you can also sideload and trigger browser using the extension. So all the instructions are provided within the documentation. So Power Toolkit now what it contains. So basically it contains the live form inspection. It contains Web API Explorer. It contains Fetch XML Tester, custom API manager, metadata browser. You can impersonate user roles. You can manage environment variables. You can manage the solution layers. So you can view event monitors. There are some Code Hub JS snippets which can be handy if you are putting some validation in the model driven app form. You can analyze the performance. You can see the real time operations for the plugin trace logs. You can simulate image sent to the server side plugins, and there are some actions which you can perform from a Power Automate side. Now, in order to add in, as I mentioned to you, you need to have a web browser, Edge, Chrome, Firefox. So in Edge, you navigate to the add-ons and you go ahead and once you discover it, you just install this add-on Power Toolkit for Power Apps. Now this is built by Mohammed. This is how it will look like. So you open an application. So in the backend, you can see that there is a model driven app. And within that context, you activate that extension. And within that extension, you should be able to navigate to the various other navigational components, which I'm going to show you now. Now, this is basically a simple model driven app. Now, this is a documentation around Microsoft Edge add-on. So if you search for it, Power Toolkit, here you will see the description that Power Toolkit is a client-side developer companion for Power Apps, model-driven apps, and Dataverse. And it also explains you about some of the features like inspection, component hierarchy, editing data on the fly, uh, biz plugin trace log viewer, business rule manager, etc. And you can see some more details over here. Now these are some of the screenshots. So if you see over here, uh, it is like a screenshot. It is a screenshot to basically giving some information about the feature, like it can quickly identify JS event handlers and business rule. You can visually build, execute, and refine fetch XML. You can view the plugin context, explore metadata, environment variable, view the code snippets, and the live form hierarchy. All right. So how to install it? You click on three dots over here, and then you get into extensions, and then from here, manage extensions for Microsoft Edge, and then you start finding this add-on, or maybe you can directly go into this URL directly. Once you install it, make sure that once you open this extension, there should be some context of Power Apps. Now, this is a Power Apps model-driven app, so I'm in this context. I'm logged in. You will find this in the toolbar over here. Click on it. Now once you click on it, this particular application will be triggered. So the first one is Power Automate. So you can navigate from here: Power Automate, form automation, impersonate, metadata browser, solution layer, etc. Now I'm not going to explain each and everything because most of them we all already been using all this thing within different utilities or XRM toolbox. But I'll just show you how to navigate through what features it contains, and so on and so forth. So we have this dark mode and the light mode. And if you navigate to the settings, here you have an export and import settings. You can configure whether you want to show the logical names in the form, hide the logical name, reset the form, god mode, refresh, toggle theme. So all this configuration can be set over here. I've turned everything as on. Now you can also see the custom API. So there's a custom API manager. So it will list down all the solutions over here. And if your solution has those components, then it will be showing those custom API. Now, I don't have a specific solution which has it, but it will show you the total APIs, actions, functions, and manage. You can create your new API, and you can also test the API over here. So I'll just select all Power App solutions. Then again, it will start looking into APIs, action, function. And then if I click on new API, then it will start creating, it will allow you to create that API. You can specify the function, binding type, processing type, plugin type, and then you can configure those settings and then click on create. So this is one way to create an API. However, this can be done in the maker portal as well, so that's not a problem. Then we navigate to Code Hub. So here in the Code Hub, you will see the form context basics, saving and life cycle, something related to the UI. So let's look into the UI part. So if I click over here, if I want to show or hide the tab and a section, I can directly copy this code. Now, instead of just selecting, just select copy over here, and the code snippet will be copied. Now, saving and life cycle. Again, it's an async function. It takes into consideration the execution context of the form, and then you can save the content. So again, all these codes are handy. So form context basic, save and lifecycle, lookup filter, business process flow, web API. So if you want to select only a necessary columns, then you can perform using this query operator. Retrieve multiple, create or update, associate, disassociate, execute the bound action. So all this code are already there for you to use. You need not even do any sort of a search or a deep search to get the code from internet. Navigation and dialogues, and it's not like one or two piece of code, but then that's for everything, like alert, a confirm message, lookup dialog, etc. Then we have a grid and subgrid, which is the most asked question, like how to refresh a subgrid, how to get a selected row, how to on subgrid data refresh. So what are the controls which we can get? So all these things are available. Now under utilities, here you will see the log context. Here you will see the check role by ID. Okay, so that's about Code Hub. Let's go into the top one, Power Automate. So if you have a Power Automate flow created, so you select the solution from here, and then these are the list of flows which I have, like AI Builder Exploration, all in one flow. So these are different flows which I have within the system. It will give you the flow ID. It will give you the owner, when it was created, when it was modified, whether it is on, and whether it is what type it is, unmanaged. So you can either delete this flow, open in Power Automate, view or edit, or you can turn off from the screen. So it will give you nice interface through which you can perform this operation. So directly here you can perform that operation. So basic simple management of Power Automate flows. Then coming to Power Form Automation, here you can see an option to select the table. Now I can just go ahead and type in the common table like account and the contact. Now I'll just say type in account, and it will load the rules for the account, the business rule. If it has any form event handlers, it will load that, and you will see all these things over here: app common, account instance, on load, on save, if there are any things which you have added, on change if you have anything added. So all this information can be seen over here as a part of the form event handler and the business rule. Other thing which you can do is, if you want to test this application with some other user, like the user impersonation. Now make sure that you are an admin, and now say I'm logged in as Girish, but then if I want to log in under the context of maybe Alex, I can search for that user, I can select that user, and then from that point onwards I will be impersonating as Alex. Now I'm currently impersonating as Alex over here. I can compare with myself, analyze the security. I can compare the command. I can open Admin Center. I can open Microsoft Entra. Now, if you don't want to impersonate as another user and then see the operations, you can just clear it. Metadata browser. So as you see over here, this is a metadata browser. So you again select a table over here. Now, if you have created maybe any custom table, you can go ahead and search for that table. Now, I'll just type in car. I don't think so I have car over here, but let me see if I have any custom table created, or maybe if not, then I'll just show you a simple contact table. So let me see if I have a contact table. Yes, I have. And then within the contact table, I can see all the details like auto replicate cluster records, cluster mode. So all the properties of that specific table I can see over here. I'll close this. Solution layer. So if you have all accidentally created a solution layer in the UAD or the prod environment, you can go ahead and inspect it. So you select the solution, you select which component type are you looking into it, and then you can view the solution layering. Web API Explorer, you can view different web API. You can specify get, post, patch. So let me say get, and then I'll just say type in accounts, and I'll just say name, and top counters say maybe five, and then order I can specify or not, and then I can go ahead and get the count or execute it, and then it will list down say top five records. So it has executed through the API. It will give you the query which you have, which the system has formed. Also, it will give you the output in a JSON format as well. So you can also navigate to different pages, but here in this case, there'll be only five records. Then we have fetch XML tester. So you can write a fetch XML query. Again, the same concept, account. If I just select a table, the logical name, then the column, and maybe this time I want a seven record, and then I want to be sorted it by name, but then I want it in a descending order. I'll say generate XML, so it will give you the fetch XML. You can also navigate to XML editor and see like what fetch XML is generated. You can pick up a template. Like by default, there are some template ready-made available. So if I say joining the accounts with contacts, so it is already there. You need not remember the syntax. So it is already provided for you. So count of accounts by city, sum or average revenue, etc. Other interesting part over here is the environment variable. So you can create a new environment variable over here, or you can view all the environment variables within your solution. So as you see over here, you can see the display name, you can see the schema name, what type it is, and what are the description, what is the current value, what is the default value. So you can delete the environment variable, edit the default, and edit the current. So there's a whole bunch of environment. So this is the custom one which I have created. That's why you can see G Corp as a publisher name. Then we have plugin traces. So you can see the plugin traces log. You just need to specify from which date to which date. So you specify the start date, then you specify the end date, and then if you want to see something in the live, yes, you can do that, and then you click on filter, and then it will start looking for information. Now I haven't worked specifically on this environment since long, so maybe you may not be able to find those information. Also here you can specify if you want to see something happening live, and you can see the plugin traces log. Like if you perform say some operations within your system, like if I can just go ahead and minimize, I can go into the contacts or accounts, maybe come over here, and then maybe I can go ahead and change some information over here. Maybe I'll just make some change, click on done, and then it will make save that change. Now if I go into restore part over here, like if I want to troubleshoot from a like if I want to check for message entity content for a specific table, I can go ahead and view the changes listed over here. Now, under user context, this is my current user context. This is the user ID. So, which team I belong to as a part of the team membership, you can get all the details. I can get the client and session details. I can see the org details, etc. So, basically, a metadata kind of information, which may help you in writing the JS codes. If you want to pick up the context, you can use that. We all have seen code hub settings, custom API, etc. So basically, Power Toolkit basically helps the developer work on the code. Now, these are like some of the feature which I have shown you, but there are many other feature which you can see over here. Like under the settings, there are so many things, right? There is a guard mode, there is performance, there is plugin context, etc. So if you navigate within a form, so if I go inside a form, you can get other information, like if you want to see the logical name of that specific uh, field or columns or entity, so you can even configure that as well. But it works differently in a form, it works differently in the list. But remember, you need to have a model driven app open. You can't open any other website and then trigger this tool. That may not work. And this is an option to clear the cache. This is the option to select the dark mode and the light mode. And there are other things which you can set. You can just perform that movement. You can just turn on and off the feature. You can export and import the settings. So this is like the header buttons configuration page, and as a part of the setting, this is segregated as per header buttons, tab configuration, and then you can just move the component as and when, like depending on how you're comfortable with and which all feature do you need. Sometimes you may not need all the features, so it is advisable to turn only the feature which you use more frequently. There are other options over here. So you can activate the god mode. You can show logical names. So if I click on show logical names over here, then in the form you can see all the logical names are visible. Now you can hide the logical name. You can activate the god mode. So if in the form there are some fields which are hidden, or you want to see the details which doesn't exist in the current UI, you can activate the god mode, and then you may see some fields. So it says 3 fields unlocked. Okay, I can just turn off the god mode, and then if you see over here, it shows the message that the fields are activated. So this form will get updated, and then other fields which are hidden, it will show you those information back. So these are the things which you can operate within the Power Toolkit. So that's it, folks. This is all about Power Toolkit. Thanks for watching.